about that. That's not something that's really directly under the control of the agency, and also not something that there's ever gonna be an invoice that comes in the door for, that the agency's gonna have to pay that for. That's just a result of the,
It's a revolving number.
yeah, the
And-
actuarial
Which is
calculation.
adjusted every year. That's-
Yep. Exactly, and that's one of those adjustments you were talking about earlier that we made. Otherwise, pretty straightforward year on the operating balance sheet. Page 3 is a look at the income statement for the operating fund. Couple of big variances on here. You know, you'll see up at the top that decrease in the rental and lease income. And that's just due to timing of the Del Lago arrangement. In '24 was the recognition of the last big payment on that project. But then you can see a pretty big increase in the agency fees in 2025 related to a couple of new projects that
Lodi,
were completed.
yeah, New York Lodi.
Yep, Lodi being the big one. The end of the year, that's also, I didn't mention on the previous page, but the big increase in the liabilities on the labor and compliance, that was the Lodi deposit came in at the end of the year, so.
With the change in contractual expenses, I don't know what that was.
A big piece of that was related to the beginning costs in 2024 that were capitalized, were going to be capitalized, some engineering fees related to the renovation project that didn't come to fruition. Since those were tentatively capitalized in '24,
They get recognized as operating.
they
And then reversed out.
came into '25 and were
Yeah,
expensed in
yeah,
'25.
yeah.
So that's a significant portion of the difference there. You know, the other things, a couple of, you know, unique items that were there in '24, the non-operating expenses, you can see didn't occur again, obviously, because they were more unique items. And then I did also just note here that the revenue, you'll see the interest income was down 25 compared to '24, partially due to timing of the CDs that the IDA is invested in. You know, so those will mature in 26 and, you know, kind of make up some of that income. It's just timing on those. The last page in this summary is a look at the revolving loan fund. We've got the balance sheet on top. Again, really pretty straightforward. You know, cash is up because the two loans that are outstanding continued to receive the payments as scheduled, which also explains the decrease in the long-term receivable there. The net position for the revolving loan fund was up, you know, $2,700, just based on earning more interest than what the administrative costs that were allocated to the fund were. So that's really what I had in the executive summary, the operations for the IDA for '25. Any questions about anything in there, or anything that you may have seen looking through the other documents before meeting? As far as the pile or the stack of handouts I gave you, you know, it goes through, there's the whole financial statement in there, and then there's the required communication letter, and the management letter as well for the organization. Being as though there's no comments in the management letter, I don't really think we need to take any time going over that. The required communication letter, just, you know, has some things that were required by accounting standards to communicate with those charged with governments, you know, risks identified, and we didn't have any disagreements or anything like that with management, so they're pretty standard documents.
Okay.
So I'll entertain a motion to accept the financial audit.
A second. Roll call.
Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Guthrie,
Yes.
Mr. Cure absent, motion carried.
Motion to close the meeting? Oh, other business?
No other business?
Motion to close the meeting?
Also moved.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yay. Oh, aye.
Yay.
Thank you.
We are on to the EDC. The EDC, I am the chair. So, first item of business is to approve the audit committee meeting minutes of September 24th. We have a motion to, and that is Marie and Jeff. You're
Yes.
both on board here. So we need a motion to approve the audit committee meetings minutes of September 24, 25. Is there a motion?
So even though I'm not on there for this
You
time,
are.
I'm not on this one, I'm
She wasn't at
approving
the
minutes for the
meeting.
meeting that I wasn't at?
Oh, yeah. then-
Okay, they look great.
I will second, even though
Perfect.
I was not at their meeting.
Perfect.
I will-
All in favor?
It always seems so weird to me. It's just, looks fine from my house.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we've approved the meeting minutes. Now the presentation.
Okay, and so, continuing through again, I did prepare an executive summary for the EDC. Again, hopefully you had a chance to look through the full financial statements. This one is really, again, pretty straightforward, but less pages for me to go through, so I can be, really pretty brief on the EDC. If you open up that executive summary, you can see the total change in the net assets. There was a decrease of $11,000 in the net assets of the corporation. Most things really pretty consistent. In the prior year, there was a loss or a decrease in the net assets of $15,000. So the expenses were lower in 2025 than in 24 due to some timing on the tax bills the preparation of the tax returns. In 24, there was an additional billing due to timing of when the work was completed and billed, and then also some insurance savings not being paid, or some insurance not being paid to the county based on moving operations out of the county building. So those were the big changes, why you see that decrease in the expenses from 24 to 25. But overall, everything else was really pretty consistent, and as with the IDA, no comments in the management letter or anything like that, unmodified opinion, no disagreements with management or anything like that when it comes to the auditing.
No shenanigans.
The CFO fee went down as well.
Oh, we didn't have a lot of activity in this.
Was that
particular-
between 24 and 25 that it went down?
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
All right, so, thank you. I would entertain a motion to accept the EDC financial report.
So moved.
I will second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Or we need a roll call.
Mr. Murray,
Yes?
Mr. Shipley.
Yes.
Ms. Weiss.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. Carrying on. We're now in the funding court.
We adjourn.
I think Bob
Right.
shared this one,
Bob
right?
shares that one.
We didn't-
We have the minutes of the September 24th meeting. I would request a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Marie, you can vote on this,
Oh, okay, yes,
because you were approved by the supervisors
Perfect.
officially the other night.
Okay.
so-
yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes approved. The presentation of the audit.
Okay. All right, so for the funding corp, again, if you want to open up the executive summary, we can see in here, not a lot of activity year over year in the funding corporation. Do just a couple of you know, changes you'll see on here, the interest income, that there was no income in 2024. There was a CD that matured during 2025. Some pretty nice earnings for the corporation, you know, given the limited operations to keep the fund balance a little bit higher this year. And then you'll see, you know, some slight variances in the expenses. So overall, there was a decrease in the net assets of $3,500. One difference, you know, I'll mention here, the Funding Corp, we do have a comment in the management letter that's been there for as
Long
long
before
as,
my time.
yeah, as long as I, you know, before I started working with the corporation. Not really anything that I would be too concerned with, nothing in terms of, you know, any shenanigans, as you put it, or anything like that. Just one recommendation that's carried forward, just to consider putting in a management agreement in place, or doing some kind of time study with the IDA, because the IDA is acting as kind of a management of the Funding Corp, considering an allocation there. You
What
know,
would that look like?
Basically a question of if the Funding Corp should pay a portion of, say, Ellie's fee for bookkeeping,
Oh.
cause she does bookkeeping for all three organizations, or if it should pay a portion of staff time or anything like that, where we've got, you know, people that are obviously dedicating time and resources to Funding Corp business, but are not being paid by the Funding Corp.
So legitimate overhead expenses.
Yes, we've never done it because the balance is so low in the Funding Corp, and we're not spending significant amounts of time on it anyway, that, you know, every year they put the recommendation there, and we're like, yep.
To
No
be
thanks.
considered.
yeah,
To be considered.
And it's
Yeah.
like 4 transactions a
Yeah.
year that the Funding Corp has, so. So, you know, it's been evaluated and, you know, decided that it's not necessary, but it's one of those things, once we've identified it, it's a little bit tougher for us to stop identifying it. But like I said, nothing that I would be concerned about if I was sitting in your seats on the board. So that's,
Any questions regarding the audit?
No
for
questions.
Funding Corp? If not, is there other business? No other business?
We gotta approve the
I'll
audit.
move that we accept the financial report for the Funding Corp.
Is there a second?
Then I can second it?
All in
Okay, I can
favor?
second it.
Aye?
Opposed?
We gotta
So
vote.
carried. Move for adjournment.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Pretty efficient there, Mr. Chair.